you're in the water. A 6-ton killer whale rises beside you, under 2 meters away, one eye, right on you. It can flip a great white shark, hold it still, take its liver. It can kill a blue whale 18 meters long, and you are right at its mouth. It looked at you once, then left. Every year on record. A wild killer whale killing a person, not one confirmed. Captive killer whales have killed 4 people, same species, same teeth, so the difference isn't there. Where is it? Tonight we look at 3 things. First, that suspiciously clean record from the wild, including the killer whales that sank yachts off Spain after 2020. Second, the 4 people who died in captivity, their names. Third, something we rarely talk about in killer whale society, the menu. Let's be clear, killer whales are not afraid of boats. From 2020, sailors along the Atlantic coasts of Spain and Portugal ran into a problem. Killer whales started ramming boats, not at random, they went for the rudder. By 2024, there had been at least 500 reports. A few sailboats went down. Portugal's Coast Guard temporarily banned small sailboats from certain waters. People even picked out a few of them and gave them names: White Gladys, Black Gladys, Gray Gladys. Most of the incidents involved them, so it isn't a lack of interest. They know what a boat is. All those years, all those reports, not one person hurt. To see how strange that is, go back to 1976. On March 9th, an Italian racing yacht called Ghia 3 was sailing off Brazil. A killer whale hit it once. The boat started going down. 6 crew members climbed into a life raft. They just floated there. A few meters from that whale. Nothing happened. Remember what kind of animal this is. It drives prey into shallow water, sometimes rushing up onto the sand, then twisting back out to sea. One group in Antarctica has another method. They lift their heads above the surface to find which piece of ice has a seal on it. Then they swim in together, pushing a wave that washes whatever is on the ice into the water. In 2019, off the south coast of Western Australia, killer whales were recorded hunting blue whales 3 times. One of those whales was 18 to 22 meters long. They do all of that without hesitating. And then they swim past a person floating beside a life raft and do nothing, unless you put one in a tank. February 20th, 1991, Victoria, Canada, a place called Sealand of the Pacific. A 20-year-old trainer named Kelty Byrne fell into the water. There were 3 killer whales in that pool. She never came back up. July 5th, 1999, SeaWorld, Orlando, Florida. After the park closed, a man named Daniel Dukes climbed into the killer whale pool. The next morning, they found him. December 24th, 2009, Loro Parque, on Tenerife, Spain. A trainer named Alexis Martinez was struck in the chest by a killer whale named Quito during a rehearsal. He died. It was Christmas Eve, February 24th, 2010, Orlando again. A senior trainer named Don Brancheau was pulled into the water after a show. 4 people. 3 of those cases involved the same whale. That whale was named Tilikum. 0 in the wild. 4 in the tanks. Something changed in between. What changed isn't the teeth. It's the group behind the whale. In the same stretch of water off the west coast of North America, several kinds of killer whales live side by side. They look alike, their ranges overlap, but what they eat is completely different. One kind is called resident. They eat almost nothing but fish, mostly salmon. One kind is called transient. They eat only marine mammals. And one kind lives further offshore, eating mostly sharks. Their calls are different. Their social structures are different too. Same sea, and each one keeps to its own menu. How deep does that difference run? In 2024, a taxonomic revision formally split 2 of them into separate species. Same water, they even look almost the same. The only difference is what they eat, and that difference has grown as wide as the gap between one species and another. A menu isn't a habit, a menu is an identity. And it isn't something they're born with. On the Crozet Islands, in the southern Indian Ocean, killer whales have a hunting method that is hard to pull off. They have to rush up a sloping beach to take a sea lion, then twist back into the water. For a whale, going aground is usually fatal. In 1995, 2 researchers documented how the calves in this population learned to do it. The move isn't instinct. Calves need years of practice. A mother pushes her calf up onto the sand, and when she has to, she drags it back into the water. Adult killer whales sometimes drop a weakened animal next to a calf and let the young one try. Resident killer whales, male and female, stay in their mother's group their whole lives. A family group averages 5.5 animals. Females can live to 90. So a single group may have as many as 6 generations swimming in it at once. Only one individual on record has permanently left its own family group. That whale was named Luna. 6 generations, the same water, the same calls, the same menu, and people were never on any of those menus. You might be thinking, Not once, ever, it has happened, but only a few times, and those few times all point the same way. September 9, 1972, Point Sur, California. A surfer named Hans Kretschmer was bitten by a killer whale and needed 100 stitches. That is the best documented case of a wild killer whale biting a person. He was wearing a black wetsuit. There were sea lions in that water. August 2005, Helm Bay, Alaska. A 12-year-old boy named Ellis Miller was standing in water just over a meter deep. A transient killer whale, 7.6 meters long, bumped his shoulder. One bump, and then it left. No bite. Neither of those is a counterexample. For the first, the usual explanation is mistaken identity. For the second, contact was made, and then it was clear he wasn't prey. And to say it plainly, a clean record is not a guarantee of safety. It only tells us that under their rules, we are not on the list. Go back to that moment in the water. The whale rises beside you, looks at you, and leaves. Now you know it wasn't luck, and it wasn't mercy. It's that in the group where it grew up, nobody ever taught it that people are food. That restraint wasn't something it worked out on its own. It was handed down from the ones before it. And so is yours. Think about all the things you have never done. How many did you reason your way to? And how many came from someone, a long time ago, teaching you their own way? Tonight, when you lie down safely, that isn't all luck. Some restraint gets handed down, one generation to the next. You are on that chain too. If there's a rule in you that you can't trace back, something you just don't do, it may not be yours. It may be something someone left you. Who taught you that rule? Do you still remember?